We usually think of eating as a solo act, right? You sit down, have a meal, and nourish your body. Simple. But what if I told you that your body is actually a bustling, sold out concert venue, and that the food you're eating is literally supplying the instruments for trillions of microscopic musicians? It's a pretty fascinating way to look at human nutrition, and today, in this explainer, we're going to explore this incredible ecosystem living right inside you.
So, think about it. When you eat a plant, are you really the only one having dinner? Well, the short answer is absolutely not. The foods you eat don't just nourish your human cells, they feed trillions of microbes that take the components of your diet and transform them into vital chemical signals. It's essentially a massive, highly coordinated biological symphony happening in your gut every single time you take a bite.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is tonight's symphony program. We're going to meet the orchestra, explore fermenting fuel, understand cross-feeding, look at more than fiber, and finally, learn how to feed the orchestra. All right, part one. Let's meet the Nutrition Orchestra. The venue for our concert is your digestive tract, and the musicians themselves make up what is known as the gut microbiome. Now, this isn't just one type of bug. We're talking about a vast, incredibly diverse community of bacteria, archaea, fungi, and other microorganisms. And they don't just sit there passively. They live in a dynamic ecosystem that continuously interacts with the food you eat and with your own human cells. They're basically the essential, yet often forgotten partners in your nutrition. And here is exactly why we desperately need this partnership. When it comes to human digestion, we are actually surprisingly bad at digesting fiber. We literally lack the enzymes necessary to break down many of the complex carbohydrates found in plant cell walls. But microbial digestion, that's where our partners step in to save the day. They take those undigested raw materials and ferment them into an entirely new set of chemical signals that our bodies can actually use. Which brings us to part two, fermenting fiber into fuel. So when certain dietary fibers finally reach your colon, your bacteria ferment them. The result? Short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. Now, historically, some folks might have thought of these as mere byproducts, but actually, scratch that. They are absolutely not simply waste products. They are incredibly powerful metabolic substrates and signaling molecules. What that means is they directly influence your intestinal environment. They boost your gut barrier, modulate immune function, and even impact glucose and energy metabolism throughout your entire body. Your food literally becomes the raw material for microbial chemistry. Now, what is really fascinating here is just how specialized these metabolites are. We have three main star players. First up, acetate. It's the most abundant, it's incredibly versatile, and it enters your broader circulation in pretty substantial amounts. Second, propionate. Think of this one as the metabolic messenger. It heads largely straight to the liver to help with glucose production. And third, butyrate. This is the absolute favorite energy source for the cells lining your colon, essentially fortifying your entire intestinal barrier. They all play entirely different but absolutely crucial roles to keep your body in tune. So the takeaway here is that these microbes are highly specialized, but as we're about to see, they definitely don't work in isolation. Moving right along to part three, cross-feeding in the community. You see, gut microbes are true collaborators. Let's walk through this fascinating biological relay race. Step 1. Bacteria group A starts breaking down a tough, resistant carbohydrate. Step 2. Well, they can't quite finish the job alone, so they release intermediate compounds as byproducts. Then, step 3, bacteria group B swoops in, takes those exact intermediate substrates and uses them to produce that vital butyrate we were just talking about. Literally, one microbe's trash becomes another microbe's treasure. And this perfectly illustrates why this whole ecosystem is just so magical. The musicians aren't simply playing individual notes. They are actively listening and responding to one another to create a final harmonious composition. This is exactly why simply taking a microbiome test to ask, hey, which bacteria do I have, doesn't really give you the whole picture. It's not just about who is in the room. It's about what they are doing together, how they're interacting, and the combined metabolites they are producing as a team. Part 4. More than just fiber. Because actually, it's not just about fiber. Microbes absolutely love to work with polyphenols. These are beautiful plant compounds found in foods like berries, tea, coffee, cocoa, and herbs. On their own, many of these polyphenols are poorly absorbed by our human digestive system in their original forms. But the moment they hit the gut, our microbial musicians break them down into smaller, biologically active molecules that we can easily absorb.
This highlights the incredible power of the food matrix. When you eat a whole plant food, you aren't just getting isolated nutrients. You are delivering a highly complex mixture of fiber, resistant starches, polyphenols, minerals, fats, and proteins right down to your gut. The nutritional journey absolutely does not end when food reaches your digestive tract. In a lot of ways, that is exactly where the most transformational part of the process actually begins. And finally, part 5, feed the entire orchestra. I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine feeding your orchestra the exact same 3 notes every single day. Sure, a diet of just broccoli, carrots, and potatoes is highly nutritious. It will definitely keep you alive. Your orchestra might still make music, but it's going to have a terribly limited repertoire. Different fibers are used by entirely different microbial communities. So to get a full symphony, you really need to expand the instruments with incredible variety. We're talking bright red berries and fruits, crisp green broccoli and leafy greens, yellow beans, lentils and peas, hearty whole grains, nuts and seeds, and vibrant mushrooms, herbs, and spices. You don't need to eat 50 different things a day, but eating a wide, colorful variety of whole plant foods introduces a broad assortment of fibers and compounds. You are literally handing your orchestra more instruments to play with. And this brilliantly illustrates the dynamic two-way street happening right inside you. Your diet helps shape and build your microbial ecosystem. It dictates exactly who gets to thrive in the venue. But in return, your microbiome influences how the components of your diet are actually metabolized and used by your body. It's this continuous, lifelong conversation between the food you choose and the microbes that live within you. If you take away literally just one thing from this explainer, let it be this powerful idea. Your diet helps shape the ecosystem that helps process your diet. When you fill your plate with a colorful, diverse variety of whole plant foods, you are doing so much more than just feeding yourself. You're actively cultivating and nourishing an entire hidden world. This nutrition orchestra relies entirely on components we can't even see with the naked eye. So the next time you sit down for a meal, I want you to look down at your plate and ask yourself, are you feeding the whole orchestra? Thanks for exploring this with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.